Welcome to Amazing Women, where we explore the challenges and opportunities that women face in their career, personal lives, and beyond. I am Adenike Adikpito. You can call me Nikki Adebs. And today, we're tackling a topic that resonates with many working mothers: how to successfully raise kids while continuing to advance their careers. Balancing the demands of a career and raising children can feel overwhelming at times, but it's definitely possible with the right strategies and support, from time management to finding the right work balance. Today, we'll share best practices that can help women thrive in both roles. To guide us through with this important discussion, we are thrilled to have Mrs. Moyoluwa Olutayo. She's a family life coach, a working mom, a media consultant, and a parenting expert with us today. She will share valuable insights on how to navigate these dual responsibilities while also taking care of yourself. Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Moyoluwa. We are so excited to have you here, and we cannot wait to hear your insights on how to balance family and career.
Thank you for having me, Nikki. I'm glad to be here on the program Amazing Woman, and trusting that we're going to have an amazing time.
Amazing, absolutely. According to a 2022 Pew Research studies, 58% of working mothers can say juggling the responsibilities of being a parent and an employee is difficult, with many women experiencing burnout due to the competing demands of both roles. The statistics underscores the importance of finding practical solutions and strategies to help mothers achieve a balance between family life and career success without compromising their well-being. Many working moms struggle with the idea of balancing the career and, working from home, being a mom, working class mothers and all of that. So how can we give a balance between raising kids and advancing in your career?
All right. Thank you for that. I'd like to start from the point where you said having a perfect balance. I'd like to say and state here categorically that there is nothing like a perfect balance. When you're talking about perfection, you're talking about a state of utopia where there is no taking out and there is no bringing in. But we are in a world where three major things thrive in human life. That is, there's a time when we have to learn things we do not know. There are times when we have to unlearn certain things that we knew before but are now obsolete and needs to be changed. And then there's also the third leg where we need to relearn things that we've known before. Peradventure, we are beginning to forget them. So we need to relearn them because the world is evolving. So, having said that there is nothing like a perfect balance, but then we still need to create a balance and or strike a balance between the home and the career. So the first thing I will say that we need to do as a people or as a career person for you to balance the work, the home front and your career is for you to have a clear vision. If you have a clear vision of what you want, I'm a career person, then I set a clear vision of what I want for my career, what's my goal, what's my objective. Then as a mother, I also set a clear vision of what I want for my home. Now, most of the time, as a parent or as a career person, like I said earlier, you need to have a vision of what you want for your career. Then you have a vision of what you want for your home. And you discover that often they are not the same. They're not the same. So what you need for your career is not what you need for your home. What you need for your home is quite different from what you need for your career. So how do you set a balance? Do you strike a balance? What you do is to give Just like they say give unto Caesar what is Caesar, you know. So you give to your work, you give to your career what your career needs at the time it needs it. And then you give to your home what your home needs. And again, like I said, nothing is cast in iron, because what works for my home might not work for the other home. But there are certain things that are basic, you know, in life to everyone. And that's what I have said, that what does your career demand? You give it to it. What does your home demand? You give it. So you make sure that your vision is clear enough that one does not usurp the other.
So now, ma'am, what are the most common challenges working mothers face when trying to manage both their career and family responsibilities?
Okay, the first thing is scale of preference.
Okay.
Often, as mothers, we find it difficult to set our priorities. You know, earlier I was talking about clear vision.
Yes. Okay.
So, most of the time, the challenges mothers face is being able to set their priorities right. And when you don't set your priorities right, your familiar territory will suffer. When you compare the job or career and you compare the home, your familiar ground is your home. The career is not yours. I mean, the job is not yours. Most often, as an employee, the job is not yours. But your home is your home. So your home is your familiar ground. So the challenges people face most often is that they don't set their priorities right. And so when issues come up, the home front always suffer for it. So what should we be doing? Set your priorities right and stick to it. Can you say no? Can you say the word no?
No.
It's easy.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't bite. As a mother, learn to say no when the time demands for it. But most often, we're not able to say no. We don't want to say no. We want to do everything. We just want to be everywhere. We just want to look right in the eyes of everyone. And like I said earlier on, the state of perfection is the state of utopia, and no one can ever get there.
Thank you so much. You've heard from us. She said we should learn to say no when the situation warrants it. And we shouldn't find it difficult to say no at times to as mothers. It doesn't bite, it doesn't kill, it just makes us who we are. What are some effective time management strategies that working mothers can put or make use of to stay on top of both their careers and parenting duties?
Okay, the first thing I'd like to strike on is what you would call strategic planning.
Okay.
Yeah, strategic planning. Don't jump on things. As a mother, there's need for us to actually do deep planning. Your personal commitment to your job, your personal commitment to your family. So when you have a plan, that is not to say sometimes there can be impulse actions on, like decisions here and there, but major decisions need to be planned. So when you plan you have your plan, you walk by it. When you walk by it, definitely one is not going to overlap. Then another thing is it's important for us to carry the home front along. Carry your partner along. Carry your children along. They need to have a full understanding of the demands of your career, and then they can fit in. Okay, for me, there are certain things I do, especially because of the nature of my job. Most often when I'm on location, especially at my free time, I do a video call, especially to my daughter, the last born in the family. So I do a video call sometimes, and it's like I let her see the environment, so she feels in, and then often she has opportunity to like talk to some of my colleagues, chat with them, and I remember the particular incident where I was on that set for 3 days. And there was one of the actors that was always talking with my daughter every day, because she told me that right from day one, she picked some things from her, despite the fact that she's an adult,
Oh,
So it gives me opportunity to be able to like let her be a part of what I do, you know. And once that is in, even where there is a huge demand on your timing, your family is aware. Your family are in it with you. So set your priorities right. Have your planning. Don't do many things. Major decisions, don't take them on impulse. And so when we do all of this, it helps us to manage our time very well, and our commitment to the home front is not, jeopardized, and your commitment to your career is also not jeopardized.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We really appreciate that. So insightful. Now, setting boundaries between work and family life, we all know is crucial, but can be difficult sometimes. How can you now, as a working mom, establish working boundaries to avoid burnout as a working mom?
Okay, there's need for us as mothers to be very realistic. You can't do everything.
Exactly.
I can't do everything. Your employee cannot do everything. See, we've gotten to a stage in life where we should be able to dictate our terms, especially for career women who are in that leadership cadre. My dear, for you to be at the leadership cadre, you have paid your dues. And so you have a negotiating power. And this is something that as mothers we should not allow an employer to take away from you. For you to get to that place where you're referred to as a career woman who is in the leadership cadre, you have paid your dues. And so you need to exercise your negotiating power. So one of the things is you can't do everything. Then you also need to build a working support system. That's another thing that you need to do so that you don't burn out. Dictate your terms. Don't allow, there's an adage in Yoruba that says, meaning that when someone passes on, the job still continues.
Yeah.
You hear of companies that, they've been there for 100 years, they've been there for something years, they've been there for, and then go and look at the record. It's not everyone that started with them that is still with them. Some people have passed on. Some people left to go to another job, another person came in. So don't want to do everything because you can't do everything. And again, don't take more than you can do, because the best that can happen is, she did very well. In fact, they will have your picture on the wall, the best staff of the year. But my dear, it only lasts there 30 calendar days. After that, another picture will replace it. So what you need to do is they say don't bite more than you can chew. Don't try to impress an employer, because like I said, at the end of the day, thank you very much. The employer is not going to give you his or her company. So, and no one starts with the company and end with the company. Sometimes you start with them, it gets to a point you want to start your own business. You have to leave. Sometimes another company will poach you or give you a better offer, and you have to move on. So it's quite important for us to know some of these things and to be able to do things in accordance with the strength that lies inside of us so that you don't burn out. And then another thing, like I said earlier, is build a support system around yourself. If you are in that leadership, position that you have a thriving career, you must replicate yourself. You must have proteges. You must have mentees. Do you understand? So that even when you are not there, they can have your back. They can cover up for you. So those are some of the things that as a career woman you should be doing so that you don't burn out. And then in the home front too, you also need support system so that you don't burn out. You can't afford to do everything. Sometimes you have to outsource some things. Some people have live-in helps. Some people have nannies who come in and, they go at the end of the day. So you can't afford it. So you must make provision. If you have gotten to that level, there are some women who are not in that level and they have ample time to themselves. So they might not even be in this, situation that we are narrating here. But for those who are in this kind of a situation, they need to build a support system around themselves. They need external help. They need to outsource some things. And then you have people do some things for you. Send your money on errand, my dear. Send your money on errand. And that's one of the ways by which you will not burn out.
Okay, we've heard that from her. You have to designate some duties how to people. Let them help you out because you can do it all to avoid you just getting burned out. Exactly. So now, ma'am, can you please give us some examples that have, practical examples that have worked for you and can also still work for women in high pressure careers?
Another thing that I can readily add, which has worked well for me, is the fact that I choose my battles. Yeah, it's important. By that, I also mean that I don't do everything. Now, I would like to use my career, as a practical example here. I do get invitation to, partake in projects and all that. And I remember a particular project I was to do, and another project came in. And I was to leave that set on a Thursday. I was to resume on the other set on that same Thursday. And I told the producer, hello, when I leave this set on Thursday, I'm not going to resume on your own set on Thursday. I'm not going to resume on your set on Friday because I need a break. If you can allow me resume on your set on Saturday, I will. But if you can't, please call another actor. So we need to be able to, I said earlier on that often we are not able to say no. We don't want to say no. No, you should. For the sake of yourself, for the sake of your family, even for the sake of the career. Because if I took up that job and I did not resume there on Thursday, I did not resume there on Friday, there are some other people who are tied to the same project who are going to be on ground, and the entire thing will be messed up because one person is not there. So even when you're doing those things, you also must put into consideration other people who are tied to it. So life is not just about you. Life is not just about me. It's also about other people. So we need to be able to do that and just be able to say no. Be able to decide that, okay, fine, this is the limit for me. And it will go a long way.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now we're off to a great start with some insightful advice on balancing career and family life. But there is so much more to discuss. When we return, we will dive deeper into how moms can advance their careers while staying present for their children. Stay with us.